Would you sell your soul and face eternal damnation in exchange for a few years with this waitress from a burger bar?
One cheeseburger, one shanty, one portion French fries.
That's the cruel question posed in this devilish comedy. Hi, welcome to WFP Reviews, exploring classic British productions and why to watch them or watch them again. As we get started, please don't forget to click the like and subscribe buttons to support this channel. This time, we look at a daring comedy, the original version of Bedazzled. We'll take a quick look at the story, some fun production notes, and why it's the kind of movie they'd probably never release today. Bedazzled was released by 20th Century Fox in 1967, with the now dated Adeline calling it the Thinking Man's Comedy of the Year. Well, it was the 1960s. A chief selling point for this film is that it offers a great look at Peter Cook and Dudley Moore, one of Britain's best satirical comedy teams before the advent of Monty Python. The duo specialized in sardonic and nonsensical dialogues, often lampooning society's sacred cows. And that's exactly what the film does. Cook and Moore devised a story that sets the Faust legend in swinging London, and Cook wrote the screenplay. Bedazzled begins in colorful pop 60s style. The theme, composed by Moore, who wrote the entire score, is bold and a little bittersweet. The whirling credits are by Maurice Binder. He was the king of title sequences, doing everything from The Bonds to Billion Dollar Brain to films like Young Winston. The movie follows Moore's character Stanley Moon, a loner cook in a burger restaurant. Moon lives a drab life but has one secret obsession, the waitress Margaret Spencer, played by Eleanor Bron. Moon has yearned for her for years, but of course, Margaret barely knows he exists. Unable to woo Spencer and frustrated by his gray life, Moon decides to end it all by hanging himself in his apartment. However, Moon's inept suicide attempt fails, and he's interrupted by Cook's character George Spigot, who also claims to be the devil. After a little convincing, Stanley is soon signing his soul away in exchange for 7 wishes which he plans to use to claim his elusive Margaret.
Can I be someone who women yearn after and crave for and lust after?
Yes, but a deal with the devil is never easy. Spigot spends his time on mean tricks like tearing out the solution pages of Agatha Christie novels, but his main compulsion is twisting poor Stanley's wishes as soon as he grants them. The film becomes a series of set pieces, with Stanley becoming rich or a pompous intellectual, only to face a trick that denies him the bliss that he thinks he will find with Margaret. As more wishes fail, the more Stanley seeks an ironclad scenario to find happiness, but Spigot is always too clever. My favorite segment has Stanley morphing into a pop star. His pleading song finally wins Margaret's heart, but only for a moment. Inevitably, Cook steals all the fans with aloofness and icy disdain. It's a highlight in the movie and one of the best bits of pop music satire ever put on film.
I don't want you. I don't need you. I don't love you. Leave me alone. I'm self-contained. Just go away. I'm not available.
As Spigot schemes away, he is aided by iffy personifications of the 7 deadly sins. Vanity can't seem to do anything, as he endlessly stares into mirrors. Always whining about how the other sins have it better, green-clad Barry Humphries is very funny as envy. However, the sin that steals the show is Lust, played by Raquel Welch. Lust predictably tempts Stanley when they meet, but her real role was tempting the audience. Welch only has 2 scenes in the movie with less than about 7 minutes of screen time, but her image was all over the film's marketing. American Welch had risen to sex symbol status the year before in The Fantastic Voyage and especially in 1,000,000 Years BC, filmed by Britain's Hammer Studio. Raquel wore a bikini yet again in Bedazzled, and the marketers took full advantage, especially as she was globally better known than Cook or Moore. Later, Welch had some of her greatest successes filming in Europe. She had a kinky cameo in The Magic Christian and larger roles as Constance in the excellent 3 and 4 Musketeer films. Back in our film, all of Stanley's failures begin to teach him valuable lessons about life, happiness, and the value of being himself. He also forms a strange friendship with Spigot. As I hate spoilers, I'll let you watch the movie to discover how things turn out both for Stanley and the Dark One in red socks. The performances in their film are all very good. Cook and Moore were already a polished team before the movie, and it really shows in their many scenes together. Playing the object of desire, Eleanor Bron is given some less than flattering hairdos and makeup in some scenes for comic effect. However, her performances show real versatility as different variations of Margaret that Stanley yearns for. Earlier, Bron had come to prominence with her major role in the Beatles' Help film in 1965, and then played a doctor tending to Michael Caine in the acclaimed Alfie. Bedazzled was directed by American Stanley Donen, the director of hit musicals such as Damn Yankees, 7 Brides for 7 Brothers, and Singing in the Rain, considered by many to be the best musical of all time. Later, Donen directed the wonderful Charade with Audrey Hepburn and Cary Grant, the best Hitchcockian film not made by Hitchcock. Donen's deft touch is apparent in Bedazzled. Working with Cook's sharp script, his film avoids go-to 60s comedy tropes such as manic chases or overblown set pieces that were more tiring than funny. The film does have one scene with nuns and trampolines that was probably funnier on paper than it is on the screen, but otherwise, the comedy moves along very nicely through the film's trim 103 minutes. Do note, the film was remade in 2000 with Brendan Fraser and Elizabeth Hurley playing the devil, but the original remains the one to see. Finally, watching Bedazzled now, it's interesting as a film that a major studio would never make today. Films looking at seduction and sex have almost totally disappeared these days. Plus, Bedazzled has 1 or 2 gags in a dating scene that have dated badly. As well, there are gags about the devil and God that are now avoided in a world which has become much more conservative than it was in the 60s. After all, by the end of this film, you do feel some sympathy for the devil. Bedazzled is available on streaming services and sometimes shows up in Turner Classic Movies. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And do come back again soon to Waltz, Flicks, Picks.